Let's look at nines, peacemakers. Nines attributes are easygoing, they're harmonious, they're diplomatic, they're accepting, hospitable, they're modest, they tend to trust people well and idealize situations a lot. When they're walking with the Lord, they are a beautiful reflection of the peace that God brings. Their motivation, of course, simply desire is for peace. It's pretty simple. And so, there's this fear that they grew up with a little bit of being broken, relationships or in conflict, being stuck there, or sometimes overlooked because they don't express their opinion readily. People don't pay any attention to that, or sometimes they can feel shut out. So there is that. They tend to deny their anger more than the eights or the ones in this triad of the gut. A lot of the nines, in fact, will say they feel guilt more frequently than anger, but others don't. So that's why we mention anger and guilt. There's this problem of merging with others or coexisting with others. For example, at election year, they'll be talking with one group and they're talking about, one particular candidate and that platform, and that group's all for it. And they're like, yeah, me too. And then they go over here and then to another political party and they find a different candidate and they're like, oh, yeah, again, I like that too. And so sometimes they can lose their own opinion because they're always thinking about others. They're very empathetic, but they often merge with those opinions or perspectives of others. The vice is sloth, and that just does not feel good for nines. And we're talking about laziness, but in particular, we're talking about a sloth towards knowing yourself. You just lose your opinion. When you're trying to balance the whole world getting along, the last thing you want to do is insert your own opinion into the matter. Of course, it can be really, really good when you do, because you're able to read people, and when you bring out truth or what one side and the other side is, you can bring reconciliation. So that assertiveness is really hard for a lot of nines. But when they do, they move from peacekeepers to peacemakers. I think it's helpful for nines to remember this. I become slothful when I'm living for my peace. That's the shadow side. I like to gain my peace, to ensure my peace. But when I deny myself and live from His peace, that is, all my needs for peace are met in Christ alone, then I become a mediator for God and others. I'm able to step into conflict. I'm able to step into difficult situations and bring peace that people so long desire. So that's a sneak peek of the nine.